Find the exact value of the expression cosine of pi over 6 plus cosine inverse of 3 over 4. When we're looking for the exact value, do not attempt to use a calculator because the calculator will not give us the exact value. Regardless of how many decimal places we use, it is never exact, and so we would have to do this by hand. Inside of cosine is an expression that is a sum, so we will use the addition formula for cosine. But first, because of the inverse, we want to replace it with an angle theta so that it is much simple to write the expressions. That is, we let cosine inverse of 3 over 4 equal to theta, assuming that this angle is in the interval 0 to pi. Rewrite this, we have cosine of theta equals 3 over 4. We will get back to this expression in a minute. We will use the addition formula for cosine, which states that cosine of the sum is cosine of the first angle times cosine of the second angle minus sine of the first angle times sine of the second angle. But first, let's replace the inverse with theta. Then, this is now much simpler. Cosine of pi over 6 times cosine of theta minus sine of pi over 6 times sine of theta. Now, we know what cosine of pi over 6 is. It is root 3 over 2. We don't know what cosine of theta is. Minus sine of pi over 6, we know what it is. Sine of pi over 6 is 1/2, and we don't know sine of theta. But do we know cosine of theta? We do. Cosine of theta is 3 over 4, and so we will replace cosine of theta with 3 over 4. Rewrite everything. We still need to find sine of theta to finish this evaluation, but knowing cosine of theta, we should be able to find sine of theta. There are several ways we can do this, but one way is to use the Pythagorean theorem, which states that sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. Replace cosine of theta with 3 over 4. We have sine squared of theta equals 1 minus 3 over 4 squared, which is 7 over 16. So sine of theta equals plus or minus the square root of 7 over the square root of 16, which is 4. Now, next we need to argue what side we want to use. Is it plus or minus? But remember that this theta is restricted to the first or the second quadrant only, and sine is positive in both of these quadrants. And so we must have sine of theta equals positive root 7 over 4. We then proceed to finish this problem. 3 times root 3 over 8 minus 1/2. Sine of theta is root 7 over 4. And so the answer is 3 root 3 minus root 7 over 8, because 8 is the common denominator.